game, when you shook hands with him, you said that's about as good as you guys can play. I mean, could you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, I thought that we were, obviously when you're making shots, that definitely helps. But I felt like the things that we felt were important going into the game, our guys did a very good job of executing. And like I told them afterwards, I said, the moral of the story here is we've had some very good practices leading into this game, and we actually played like we practiced. And I know that was revolutionary to them because I've been saying it every day, but that was what was exciting for me. I thought we got a great lift off the bench from everybody that came to the game and really ignited us.
He also said, he asked if William was a senior. We said yes, thank God was his answer. How has he changed from last year to this year? What were you expecting to see, and what have you seen?
Well, I think this with William, he was working out after practice yesterday, and he had a focus and an intensity to his workout. And I stopped the workout right halfway through, and I said, William, that's how you have to play every possession of every game. And a lot of it is maturity. What's funny is you're watching Northwestern on tape and going through scouting and those sorts of things. He's able to speak up and say, now when they do this, they do this. And most guys in that room don't know a whole lot about him. And I think a lot of that has to do with him being here. I guess 28 tonight. The big thing with him is continuing what's next. And how much more he can improve every single time he takes the floor. That's what I'm always on William about is not letting up and making it happen as opposed to waiting for it to happen.
How do you explain, I think, shooting under 33% from three in non-conference, and I think you were 10 out of 20 in your first Big Ten game? Why did it happen like that today?
We were saving it. No, I'll be honest with you. We have shot the ball more with this team than any team I've ever had before, and we've been probably harder on guys in practice and shooting and getting them to understand the importance of it. And so much of it, I think, is when you have the youthfulness that we have, they don't completely understand how serious they have to take it. And I don't know how if we can do that again. Hopefully we can. But it's the reps and I think we've done a pretty decent job of utilizing our time over break of putting guys in and making shots. And like Jordan, hadn't shot a great percentage this season, and he makes them. It was good to see the first one go down and him knock a couple more down.
I asked you yesterday what the reason was for the difficulty you had with Northwestern last year. I guess the flip side of that is why did this turn out to be such an easy win for you guys, 33 points? And I presume it was because in the first half against their zone, you had great ball movement and hit shots. Was that 7 threes in the first half?
Yeah, that obviously had a lot to do with it. And the big thing is our turnovers. I think one of the timeouts they had was 13 points, and 7 of them were off of our turnovers. So, the times that we were able to move the basketball and get it swung and from side to side, it definitely opened things up for us. And the funny thing was, going in this game, Chris and I were talking, and I said, I can't believe Northwestern's playing man-man. In all the years I've seen them play this 2-3 matchup, and they hadn't played it all season. And then, voila, there it was, the first possession of the game. And so I thought our guys did a pretty good job of improvising, because we kind of rolled the risk of saying they're not going to play it, but they did.
Coach, we're used to seeing shots by your team deep in the possession. Has there been more of a directive to shoot when you're open or up-tempo at all, or did they depart from what you wanted to do tonight, and that's what you're talking about?
Last year we tried to limit the possessions a little bit when we played a couple times, and it was fairly, it was pretty effective. We didn't win, but we were right there. And I didn't want to do that tonight, but I just thought we just took bad shots, ill-advised shots, and again, not in the flow. If you run a certain set and the shot comes out of that, usually whatever reason those shots go in more often than the kind that just seemed like we, after 10 seconds of running our offense, it would break down. Guys were trying to beat their guy, and we're not going to beat those guys doing that.
Based on what they did during non-conference, the three-point shot might have been the last thing you prepared for against them. Did it surprise you that they shot it that well?
Yeah, I mean, they shot very well, but I mean, I know Buford's a very good player, and Siebert hurt us there. I think he hit a couple. Did he hit 2 threes or 3 threes? Three in that stretch there. It seemed like, and that really hurt us. But they were open, and this is the level where you have guys that are open and make shots. But last year's team, you think with who was that good shooter? Yeah, we tried to stop them a little bit and limit them to them. And so you'd think, they lost a couple good players there, a few good players, and yet they were able to plug some of these guys in there. Wenzel Smith's a very good passer. Gets in there, he's a competitor, good player. And so it's a nice team all around.
Sherna and Crawford never were able to get on track. How much of that was they weren't in sync necessarily, or how much of it was the defense?
Yeah, I mean, you have to say it's the defense, But I thought Crawford played better in the second half. I thought he was more aggressive. But Sherna, he just didn't have a good game in any regard, I didn't think. He looked tired and he wasn't doing things decisively. And, we haven't practiced that hard the last couple of days, but hard in offense. He's not out of shape or anything, but it just seemed, he wasn't doing anything as hard as he can shoot.
Bill, Sullinger at the start of the game looked more comfortable on his feet than he's looked in a few weeks. I wondered if you saw that based on what you've seen on film of the last few games.
I think it's just, the more he plays, the more minutes he gets, the better it's going to be. They had him in and out a bunch, which I think probably is good for him. And same with our kid Cobb, he's been out, and so I'm trying to incrementally give him more minutes because I think he's going to be, if we're going to have a third scorer, I think it's going to be he. But he looked pretty good to me. What did they say? He lost 25 pounds or something? Still a big guy. He's a good basketball player. Passes to the right guy, gets position.
Coach, how would you rate Buford among other guards you've seen this year?
Well, he's sort of playing like a swing kind of guy because Kraft has the ball all the time. But he's, he looks as good as anyone to me. I mean, he can dribble the ball, even though he hasn't really in his offense, but he gets the ball, gets in the lane, gets fouled, goes to fouling. He's making that shot. It seems like, he's stepped up because we lost some guys from last year. Now, I don't know if I call it his team, but he's a senior now, right? And thank God. So he just feels, he's doing things decisively, like and Sherna, did not tonight. But he's a senior and he knows what he can do. And he's doing it.
Not really. I mean, I was just shooting the ball. I mean, I was fortunate to knock him down because my teammates set great screens for me. The bigs, and my teammates kept telling me to shoot, and I was just fortunate to knock him down.
Will, it seemed like that was the most you've smiled out on the basketball court since you've been here. Is that the most fun you've had playing here?
Oh, not at all. I'm here for 4 years. I had a lot of fun. I mean, scoring the ball is always fun, but I mean, when we winning, it's always fun for me. And we was locking up on defense, getting transition plays. When we going up and down, that's my style of play. I like that even better. So it was a lot of fun for me tonight.
Well, Coach Carmody from Northwestern just sounded relieved that you were a senior. Are you taking a larger role in this team as a senior? Do you feel that you need to do a little bit more to make up for the guys who were lost?
I don't feel we can replace, our seniors that we had last year. I just do what I can do to try to help my team win. Everybody, some of us been here last year. They helped me out a lot, trying to be a leader. We just try to bring it in practice. We try to bring the intensity. you know, and that's about it. I mean, I'm just trying to just do whatever I can do to help my team.